What is the first thing you think of when you hear pelvic floor? For so many moms or women in general, you think kegels and sometimes leaking. Like if you pee, when you cough, sneeze, laugh too hard, jump on trampoline, something like that, right? A lot of times you correlate this to having children or being pregnant, and it's just a part of it, right? I think some of the biggest misconceptions that we have surrounding pelvic floor are that we just think pelvic floor is just kegels. And a lot of times you're told it's just kegels. I remember laying in the hospital bed after having my second baby, and they told me they referred me to pelvic floor physical therapy, which is amazing. Like nobody does that. And I asked, so what does that mean? What am I going to do if I go to pelvic floor? And I already knew, but I just wanted to hear what other professionals would say. And they're like, oh, you're just going to just do kegels and stuff. And it's like, if all we're doing is just doing kegels, why would we go to an appointment? Why wouldn't we just do that on our own? And what if that's not helping or fixing our problems? So often there's so many things that our pelvic floor is responsible for or can help you like overcome that you don't even realize that your pelvic floor is a part of it or a piece of it. A lot of it is like back pain and hip pain and pelvic pain, pubic pain, obviously the pain a lot of people know about, menstrual pain, like period cramps, ovulation pain, preparing for birth, postpartum, ab separation, diastasis recti, constipation, having difficulty climaxing or reaching an orgasm, having pain with sex. Like all of these things are all things related to your pelvic floor, but so many women and people just don't realize. And a lot of times we're told it's just normal, it's just a part of being a woman, it's just a part of having kids, but it's not supposed to be like this, and it doesn't have to be like this. If you're having any questions as I'm talking and you want to ask them, I'm totally down to answer them. You can just put it in the chat and I will answer them as I go. If not, that's totally okay. But so often when we think pelvic floor, we think just kegels. And if you've been around for a while, you know I don't even use the terminology kegels. I don't give kegels to anyone to do. And a lot of this is coming from kegels aren't what you really need to do. You're probably not doing them the correct way. And it's probably making your problems worse because your pelvic floor is already working so gosh darn hard, and there's other things that need to help support you. So if you're wanting more information on what your pelvic floor can actually help with, I just dropped an podcast episode today, and I think it'd be really helpful for so many women to just know what your pelvic floor is and how it affects. It's just a short episode if you're driving to work or to do pickup or whatever it may be. While you're making dinner, you can go ahead and play it. It's Belly Birth Beyond with Pelvic Floor Mama. So the alternative to what I use for Kegels is called the BSR method. And it's where I teach you the basics of your pelvic floor that actually aren't even Kegels at all, right? And so it's just teaching you how to breathe correctly and all these other things that affect your pelvic floor that you have to know before you can even do exercises or anything else. And then teaching you how to support. So B is for basics, S is for support. So supporting your pelvis and supporting your pelvic floor throughout everyday activity, right? So you're constantly standing up and walking and going up the stairs and lifting your children and picking up things off the ground. And if you are constantly doing things that are irritating or causing more problems to your pelvic floor and we're not fixing that or addressing it, it's going to continue to be a problem. So we have to teach you the basics so that way you can support your body all day long with the things you're already doing, and then we can restore strength, stability, and get strong again. And that's why it's not just doing exercises and finding the best pelvic floor exercises for you or just doing Kegels, because I have yet to have someone come in and do a Kegel the correct way without having to be coached or told or helped along the way on what it is or how to do it correctly. So again, new podcast episode just launched. It's Belly Birth Beyond with Pelvic Floor Mama. Go take a listen. It's real short. If you're wanting even more help and support, the Pain-Free Pregnancy and Postpartum Package is going to have a little bonus going on this weekend on Friday, so you can keep your eyes and ears tuned out for that. It's always available no matter what. It's not just a program, it's support. It's like having me in your pocket, unlimited access, and then weekly coaching calls as well. Someone has a question though, so let's answer some of these questions. Can carrying or lifting heavy weights like boxers for years affect your pelvic floor? I'm asking because I've had pelvic floor issues forever, but I've only had C-sections. So a couple misconceptions, I think. A lot of times we think C-section, so your pelvic floor is not affected. Huge false. I'm also a C-section mom and vaginal birth, and so it's really hard because nothing came out of your head. Like you didn't have vaginal birth, so like you're like, I should be good, nothing's affected. But your pelvic floor supports your bladder, bowel, and uterus. Okay, so this is your pelvic floor internal, right? It's inside the vaginal canal. Those are those muscles. Being pregnant affects your pelvic floor. and giving birth, when we cut open your, to get baby out during a C-section, we're compromising your core. And your core and your pelvic floor have to work together. So even though you had a C-section, that doesn't mean you have no pelvic floor dysfunction. That doesn't mean your pelvic floor is like A-okay. Honestly, I argue sometimes that C-section mamas need pelvic floor support more than vaginal births. And not in all cases, but it could definitely be argued that that's something. And so anyways, that's just a big misconception, and I think that we need to overcome it. But yes, if you're lifting and you're carrying heavy boxes, another thing is that you're loading your pelvic floor all the time. Your pelvic floor has a ton of responsibility on it. And if we don't support your pelvic floor with your core, with your glutes, with surrounding muscles that are supposed to help do things all day long, think about like a group project. All of these things are supposed to work together, but we've all done group projects in school. Like, who actually did, like, have you ever been in a group project where every single person does something, or do you just put the name of someone and they still get credit, right? So think about that, like with what your muscles are doing. That's kind of like the best analogy I have for there. So that's really important. But then secondly, if your pelvic floor can't relax, that's like the biggest problem within moms, is the not being able to relax your pelvic floor completely. And so that's what you need to be able to learn and be able to do, which is part of the basics, and then supporting your pelvis, which is also supporting your pelvic floor. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Sometimes it's not that you're doing, sometimes you might be doing too much. It's not about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less and finding the right things to do and focus on. Hopefully that's not confusing. I had a vaginal birth, but my pelvis still hurts, and it's been 3 months now. I'm assuming, and I don't like to assume, but I'm assuming it's like that pain in the front of your pelvis. It feels like it's being pulled or ripped apart. A lot of times it's called symphysis pubic dysfunction, hurts to roll over, walk, get dressed, those types of things. And you're always told it's just pregnancy. This is just what it's like. It gets better after birth, but here you are 3 months later and still having pain, because it's not just pregnancy. It's not just hormones. So if you're having pain, that technique that I was talking about, the BSR method, we got to go back to the basics. If you are wanting like support to kind of walk through this and feel more comfortable in your body, there's 2 different options. One, you could start with just the 5-minute Mama Relief Reset. It's just 5 minutes a day for 5 days. This is just really basic, trying to understand what this method is and support your body throughout the day, support your postpartum journey, that type of thing. But if you're really wanting support like long term, the Postpartum Mama Recovery Reset, and I can send you the link or it's on my webpage if you're wanting it. It's 8 weeks. It starts with like 7 minutes a day, just 4 days a week, and it's reconnecting and healing your body, so that way your pelvis and your pelvic floor and your core, they're all supported. They're reconnecting with each other. A lot of times after we give birth, we just think we're fine and our bodies are good to go, but we never go back and like reconnect with our body. You have to think like there was a baby there and now there's not, and it took upwards of 9 to 10 months to grow this baby, and once the baby's gone, your body's adjusting and changing. Hormones are all over the place. Like, your hormones don't even level out for about 2 years later. If you're breastfeeding, that's added hormones and things like that to it. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But I honestly send a lot of moms to the Postpartum Mama Recovery Reset, where you can just start healing your body, and it helps a lot with the pelvic pain or the pubic pain that you may be experiencing with rolling over and getting dressed and walking, and those types of things. If you need more help, just send me a message. I've been in the DMs today. I'm about to go pick up my kids though, so I won't be in there until they go to bed. Yes, doctors, unfortunately, it's not necessarily that they're doing anything wrong, but they have so many patients in a day that they see you for 5-10 minutes. It can be hard to get all your questions answered. They might not be as forthcoming to give you more information and education. And truthfully, when it comes to pelvic floor, their job is significantly different than mine, and they don't have as much education and understanding of what your pelvic floor is or what it does. And so a lot of times they're like, oh, it's just kegels, or oh, pelvic floor can't help with that. But they really don't know or understand. And this isn't all providers, but it's just what I've come through with helping thousands of moms, and then also going into these offices and talking to providers myself and trying to have those conversations and have that education piece as well. So I love the questions. More. Hold on. Is the pelvic pain going to go away as time goes on? Or pelvic pain, this is the thing. Pelvic pain doesn't just go away on its own. If the pain does get better, then it's not necessarily fixed. There's still an imbalance. There's still this problem that's going on, like if we don't address it, right? And so it can show up as back pain. It can show up as leaking, like you pee when you don't want to. It can show up as pain with sex. It can show up in all these other different ways, because if we don't fix the problem within your pelvic floor, within your core, we're not actually fixing anything. We're just putting a Band-Aid on it and hoping that it gets better. So over time, some moms might feel better, some moms may not. And if there's another pregnancy, I would say like 99.9% of moms have significantly more pain earlier on in pregnancy. And I don't say that to be a terrible person that's like, oh, just wait, because no one likes to hear that comment. But that's just the truth behind it. But it doesn't have to be like this. Like, there's help for you right now to help you feel better. There's help during pregnancy. Pubic and pelvic pain is my like specialty. That's what I focus in. That's what I basically help moms with all the time. Not that I also help with other pregnancy pains and things like that, but pubic pain specifically is why I created the BSR method, is because it is so particular in what you can and can't do, that if we really jump into this problem, like, you find relief within 2 weeks by just implementing like the 5 to 10 minutes of movement in this part of this method. You can fix pelvic girdle pain during pregnancy. It's not something you have to wait and hope that it gets better after your baby's born. Pelvic girdle pain is a generic term. Oh, my pelvis is over there. Pelvic girdle pain is a generic term for pain within the pelvis. It could be pain within the front of your pelvis, which is what we're talking about, pubic pain, or it could be pain within the back of your pelvis, like SI pain. Pelvic girdle pain is just generic, saying that you have pain within the pelvis. It's not actually telling you what it is. So symphysis pubic pain is here. SI pain is back here, and it can be helped during pregnancy. That is what I do, is I help moms find relief and be able to move again, so that way you don't have to struggle through pregnancy, you don't have to worry about your birth, and you're not left struggling postpartum and wondering when it's going to get better. Hopefully that is really helpful. There are some questions I think are still coming in, but I think I answered them all. Pregnancy does not have to be painful. I know a lot of you right now are struggling with pain with pregnancy. You're struggling with pubic pain, pelvic girdle pain, all of those things I can help you with. If you have questions, you're not sure where to go, I'd love to support you. If you're like, just tell me what to do and let's do it right now, I would definitely say the pain-free pregnancy and postpartum package is your pain-free pregnancy. It's learning how to get through your pregnancy without just surviving, so you can enjoy your third trimester. It's birth preparation and labor prep, and so you can have a smoother, faster, less tearing with your birth, and you can recover easier. I mentioned it before, the pain-free pregnancy package, it's not just a program that you do. In fact, you don't even complete it. It includes community, it includes access to me, unlimited. I've been messaging moms for a while here. It's weekly coaching calls. I don't ever want a mom to like receive something and then never have the support to back it up. So I want you to be supported every step of this way, and I want you to feel good in your body every step. Even if pregnancy is not something you love, or it's not something that's the most comfortable thing for you, it should not be painful. And there's a big difference between feeling heavy because you're pregnant and feeling painful because you have like symphysis pubic pain, or you have SI pain, or pure form of SI, whatever you're struggling with. It's not supposed to be painful, and it doesn't have to be this way. The pain-free pregnancy and postpartum package is linked on my page. I can also send you a message and we can voice chat back and forth, or whatever you're comfortable with, but you don't have to just live with this, okay? It's not supposed to be like this, and it doesn't have to be. And I would love for you to be able to feel some relief so you can get through this pregnancy and even your birth and postpartum and maybe more pregnancies without having to wonder if this is gonna come back and continue to bother you. Okay, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, drop them in my inbox, and I will answer them once my kiddos go to bed, but I've got to go pick them up. So sending you guys all so much love.